Hello, my name is Sue Ellen Pabst and I'm the owner of Transitions Counseling Services, which started in 2003. We then started Transitions Autism Services in January of 2021. So we're still pretty new. This video, I want to address some concerns, some new policies, maybe procedures. I just kind of want to have a welcoming video. So whether you're a BCBA or a technician, welcome. One of the things that started Transitions Autism was that I really wanted Cassie Baker to join the counseling services. But then I rapidly learned how very, very different she was in what she did working with children with autism or problematic behaviors or difficult behaviors, than what we do. So it was a big decision to decide to create another business, another service for our community, Transitions Autism Services. But what I really wanted was a lot of her experience and expertise. And I wanted to know, after learning a lot, and it was a lot of learning, and still learning, I wanted to know what could set Transitions Autism apart from any other services provided. So during the pandemic, what she noted, what she reported to me, was that for the parents of clients who had received the training on how to build skills with their child or guardian, those parents maintained all the skills that had been taught to date and or improved. So during that over a year, they were able to maintain the skills that had been taught and even improve. But what she also saw was that the parents who did not receive any training on how to build skills and work with their child, those children, not only did they not maintain what they had already learned, they regressed either back to baseline or regressed even prior to the baseline of when they started working with that client, which could have been a year, could have been 6 months, could have been several years. So with that stated, that was enough. Even though it was a small piece of data, it's not a large sample size, it certainly made a lot of sense. And so with that, we knew we don't have a center, we don't have a building, we don't have the structure to bring children here and to work with them. But because we wanted it to be about training the parents as well as working with the child, we really wanted to train the parents how to do what you do, be it the technician or the BCBA. And so we would work in the child's own environment. And that was practical as a business, but it was also, it made sense. So that was our core. It is not required by insurance. It is not a mandated piece to provide that kind of parent training, but it is part of Transitions' mission, and it's part of what we are about. So I want to talk to the BCBAs, stating that the parent training is a big part of what we do and what we are about. And so granted, nobody's going to know that client, that child, better than their parents or their guardian, because they're living with them day in and day out. They know their signals, they know their temperaments, but they called you. They called for a professional to come in and to assist. So that is what we're doing. We don't want to create dependency on you. We don't want to create an environment where this is a babysitting service and they need their respite. They do need their respite, but that is not the service that we are providing. We are providing a professional a skill set with goals for their child. So I just want to make that very, very clear. And if we are creating a dependency, we are doing them a great, great, great disservice. It's a little bit of a power piece. I would state that it is a bit, this also happens in the counseling world as well, and there's a form of abuse in it when you create that kind of dependency, so that only you can work with this child, or only you know what to do in this situation, and the parents are at a loss and what have you. So I really want to emphasize how important it is that the parents be part of that training. If the parents don't believe they need that training, we might not be the right fit for them. We may not be the right fit for them. We're never going to cure autism, but we will be able to teach family members how to build those skill sets and how to implement those. So it's about teaching. It's truly about teaching and working with. And that is something that you teach your tech, and then your tech also works with those parents. So if there's concerns or issues on how to talk to parents, how to work with parents, how to confront parents, how to challenge parents on some of the behaviors that they're implementing that you see are harmful, and you don't know how to address that, we can assist with that. We can help you. So, but we need to keep that line of communication quite open. We're also going to do another thing. We want to support you, and we want you to choose the techs that you think will work well with your client, your tech who you think is intelligent, trainable, maybe has experience. That's your criteria. But you obviously don't know how they're going to be until they start working. You don't know how reliable they're going to be, and how on task they're going to stay. So we're going to change the tech's contract to a 30-day trial period, and that will be helpful. We're also going to create for you sort of a supervision card so that we can create paper trails. And what that means is that when you go and do your 10% of time with the tech, the kid, hopefully the parent, you also have these teaching moments. So what are the goals for this week? What are they doing? What's the tech doing really great at? What do we need to implement now? And did you teach it? Did you model it? Did they model it? And did they do it? And make sure that they really understand it and that they know it, which means you've got to share your treatment plan with your techs. And you've got to make certain that they understand the skills that they're teaching and the whys and the wherefores. Once you've gone through at the end of your time of supervising, you're going to do kind of just a check of this is what we covered, and maybe a sentence or two, and then your tech signs off on it as well. So you sign it first saying this is what you covered, and then your tech signs it. Your tech doesn't have to agree with everything that you stated. Your tech may say, I don't remember you teaching me how to implement this skill, or I don't know what that skill means, or I don't know what that is. It's also your job to make sure that they understand the programs that you're using and how to run them. And you also need to train them on how to do their notes and so forth. So you do have a lot on your plate, but we do need those paper trails. We want to make sure we've got the right person with the right family. We also want to hear from the parents. If the parents have anything that they want to comment on that same checklist, card, whatever, then please give them the opportunity to do so. So we can sort of track, are they pleased with the services? What do they wish was happening that isn't happening? Do they see that their child's improving? And so on. Okay. So the goal in providing these services is to not be needed. The goal is you're not going to cure autism, but you are going to be able to teach the family how to implement skill building. And so the goal is that the parents no longer, or guardians, don't need you. We are not a respite babysitting service. That's somebody else. So let's not get caught up in that chain. One of the things, it's not a great business model. The minute we come in, we're trying to not be needed. It's not great repeat business with that consumer or that client. However, in the counseling field that I've done for 20 years, here's what I know. The better work we do, the more that our clients feel and see improvement for themselves, the more they refer us. So it actually generates more business. And they come back time and again. So they send us the referrals, and it increases our business, and it promotes our reputation. And that is what we want. So let's talk about the technicians for a moment. Let me give you an idea of your chain of command. So you are implementing a majority of the work to be done with this child. You're implementing the treatment plan that the BCBA has set up, and that insurance has approved for this kid. You are entering into their home, which is a very intimate space, but this is where the kid lives. And we think that's a good place for the kid to learn their skills. That said, while you're there often, several hours a week, you're not part of this family. You are a professional entering in. Now, there are very few professionals where it is acceptable to be on your phone, to be making phone calls or playing games, to be watching TV all day. That's a babysitter. If you're babysitting, then you need to talk to your supervisor about giving you more specific and more direction on how to implement the treatment plan. So I just want to point that out. Never are you to be bringing in your problems. This is not the place for it. It's not professional. I mean, certainly you're going to do your small talk about your pet, your spouse, maybe your kids, whatever, or what vacation you're thinking about taking, but not, this is not your family. Now, that doesn't mean that parents, guardians, grandparents, whoever, can't talk to you, and they will. And as long as you're able to continue working while they're talking, or teaching while they're talking, okay. But remember, you're there to work. Always think about, if the insurance company were able to spy on me now, would they pay me for this hour? And that's a good caliber to go by. So, and again, you too are teaching parents. If that's a difficult process for you, and you want to learn how to do kind confrontation, how to do loving instruction, I would be more than happy to work with you or anybody about that. We are going to have a 30-day trial period, and you too will be signing off on the supervision checklist so that you know where you stand all the time. You know what you need to work on. You need to know what you do very well. And so, we're not going to move you out of a home if we've never seen any issues there. And so those need to be brought to our attention. Anything related to the treatment plan, you take to your supervisor. Anything related to the work with your client, you take to the supervisor. Anything other than that, calling in sick, needing time off, concerned about something that was said or done. If you can't speak directly to the person you're concerned about, that goes to Chris. Okay? So your method, if you have to call in sick, for example, you first call Chris. Chris will call the BCBA. All right? If you can't get a hold of Chris and it's immediate, then you call your BCBA. All right? So we'll take care of that part. And so we want to support you and we want to support your BCBA. And together, that will be, we want to make sure you're happy, your BCBA is happy, and you're providing the best possible work in that home for that kid. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you. Welcome to Transitions Autism Services. It's a great team, and we hope to be one of the best in the state, and we're working toward that end. So hang in here with us. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.